The eagles killed our friends. Do you have a phone I could use to call the police?
Welcome back to It's Too Bad, the show where we watch the worst movies and try to find their silver linings. I am Jason.
I'm Ted, and this week's episode is going to be Birdemic.
Shock and Terror.
Shock and Terror, which is, you don't get any of that. So don't, guys, this one to me makes me feel bad about myself. I've seen this 3 times, and I don't know how that happened.
It is James Wynn's third film. James Wynn, the self-proclaimed king of the romantic thriller. Neither one of those words really fits this film. It's an homage, maybe, to The Birds.
Okay.
He's a definite Hitchcock fan. He even gets Tippi Hedren from the original Birds to be in more than one of his films.
There's something going on there. I don't know what. But
I'd like to know.
For those of you who have not seen it, it is about a software company, and the guy works for it.
Great, thanks. We appreciate your business. Woohoo!
And he meets a old friend.
Did you go to San Mateo High School?
Yeah, how'd you know that?
I went there too. So are you from here?
And she happens to be a Victoria's Secret model.
Who's taking photos in like a 1-hour photo.
Right.
I closed a big job offer today with Victoria's Secret.
Wow, congratulations. I think you'll look great in those lingerie.
They sell their company for how much?
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
Nice round number.
And honestly,
Exactly,
it would be
$1
good
billion.
for them. And they clap about it for a good 5 minutes and keep saying $1 billion.
billion.
$1 billion. $1 billion. And then the birds happen. And
The Birds happen like 50 minutes into the film.
right. So
There's
we're
just
left
this-
with the romantic tale. And then the shock
I think
and terror.
there's a slash through the romantic thriller. They're separate parts.
Yeah.
He's got 2 kinds of birds. I think there's eagles and vultures. They're all just animated GIFs.
That's all they are.
Pasted on the screen.
Right.
They're all the same bird, 50 times replicated, standing in one place, flapping their wings very slowly. No bird could physically hold themselves up at that speed.
No. I never really thought about that, but that is true. They shoot acid.
We don't get to see where it's from, luckily.
Nor do we know where these birds come from.
Right.
They just appear. You know, like in every good horror film, you know, you have sex, you usually die. So they have sex, and birds show up.
Right.
To terrorize all of San Francisco area.
And that's what I'd like to say about him. At least he tried to stick with a common horror trope.
We see as they go along, they pick up a few friends, then they pick up 2 children that their parents have been
pecked to death
by these acid-throwing birds. Why the children? Because sooner or later, the other 2 friends, they die.
Right.
And so now we're left with a family of 2 kids that are now orphans and a Victoria's Secret model and a billionaire.
The most awkward human in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're not really trying to figure out why this is happening. Every scene is just, here are the birds, and they have to wait for the birds to fly away.
They're trying to get out of the area as like their whole goal, but then what?
You can't escape the birds.
Right.
So is it just for that area? It doesn't. No one else
I
seems
guess.
to be that concerned.
Everybody's driving back into town while they're fleeing.
They're going to the problem. I almost feel like this is just their issue.
It's sort of like in a cartoon when the rain's only coming down on one person.
That is what's happening.
It's
No one
destroying
else
birds.
sees these birds.
Right.
It's just these people, and they have assault rifles. And they're shooting out their lovely Astro van.
It's an Aerostar, Ford Aerostar. I'm sorry I had one, so I know.
So you know.
It's the car you would have to have in a post-apocalyptic world, but nobody else is dead.
Car you need but you don't want.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
When you find out what this movie is about, it's like The Happening with Shyamalan. I think the birds are angry because of global warming. Because at the beginning of the film, he's watching a news report. They're talking about global warming issues. And so that's planted in your brain. And then at the end of the movie, I guess we're supposed to believe that that is the issue. But what happens at the end of the movie?
They just go away.
the birds just disappear. They just fly away.
For a good 7 minutes, the whole credits is just everyone looking at the birds flying away.
Yeah. So we're left with a movie that is honestly so bad that why would you watch it again? Help me. What is good about this film?
Very, very little.
Okay.
It looks so bad that you can't even tell if it's high definition.
It looks like a student film.
It really does.
Yes.
The audio cuts in and out every 4 seconds. There are, throughout the movie, establishing shots that are longer than the actual scenes that come after. James Wan knew enough to know that those are prettier than anything he's going to bring to the table.
Right.
So he took some time, and probably about 10 minutes of the film are establishing shots. There's maybe a couple shots, one I can think of that tilts down at night.
Yes.
That actually, it's not noisy and grainy. It's actually a decent looking shot of them tilting down. Once you get inside, it's a whole other story. Probably the most entertaining moment of the film is the song about hanging out with your family.
Absolutely.
And also wanting to hook up with them.
We just hanging out, hanging out with my family, having ourselves a party. Young ladies are doing their makeup, and the brothers can't wait to hook up.
4.5 years to make this movie. Okay, that is a long time to labor over this film.
Yeah.
I admire him for seeing it through. With a budget apparently less than $10,000, you can tell.
It sure
Okay?
shows.
If I gave you $10,000 and said make a movie about birds coming in, I would be like, that's not a good idea. That we don't have the budget
For birds.
for birds. So we can tell a global warming story, if that was indeed his case,
Right.
in a different way for $10,000 and make it work. I feel like he overstretched and he said, yeah, we're doing this, and it just didn't hit the mark. And watching it 3 times is 3 too many. 3 too many. This is as bad as it gets. Like Manos, if you're looking for one, and I was hoping to find one, this one's tough. This one's just as tough.
There's some honor in having a position and standing by it. There's some honor even in formulating your craft around that position to sort of open people's eyes to what's going on. I don't think this helped his case one bit. I don't think it did anything to further the cause.
No. And no one came out of that movie thinking about global warming. I honestly think people walk away from that and they think of how bad it was.
I love the fact that they, in the film, go to watch an Inconvenient Truth, come out of the movie, and are changed by it. Okay?
Changed.
This might just be a commercial for an Inconvenient Truth that you can turn off after that scene.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Before the birds even
Before the
happen.
birds even happen. Well, you got about 50 minutes, like you said, before the birds
Exactly.
even happen. So I'm disappointed in myself for having seen this 3 times. I will not be watching this again.
All right, so really with that, I guess your rating would be...
It would be as bad as Manos. It is, don't. Just don't. When you think we should, because no, guys, no. Please don't.
I agree. I've watched it twice this year, and once by choice and once for this. It's almost like a prison we live in for you guys.
Right? It's true. It's true.
It's really bad. I wouldn't say it's Manos, but it's just barely above it, right about there. It's, why would I watch it again? You're going to hear jokes. People are going to make jokes about it, about Slurp House, because Rod can't speak throughout the film.
Yes, true.
That wears off in like the first 5-10 minutes.
Absolutely.
You know, it's sort of like the Avatar experience where you go in and you're like, oh, this 3D is really good. It's not like everything else I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then you still have 3 hours. It kind of felt like 3 more hours.
Like 3 more hours.
That's shock and terror. I'm shocked and terrified that we've watched this more than once each.
I am also shocked and terrified. So if that's the goal, then he did a good job. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave your comments below. We'll be back next week with a podcast about the same movie, Birdemic, Shock and Terror. And we will be diving into that a little bit more about why that's so bad that you should not watch it. In 2 weeks, we will be back with our Halloween episode, and we will be reviewing the film
Troll
2. Perfect film for Halloween. We'll see you then.